Boston Pops Orchestra. The minute they said the word Boston, everybody started to boo. And here they never wait for the anthem to finish. They start yelling halfway through it, and you can hardly hear when it ends. Well, so be it. We're ready to go in Game 2, and Ned Martin and I picked up the papers this morning. I thought the Yankees had clinched it, but I do believe the pennant race is still going on.
Yeah, you looked at everything today, and the New York Post had all kinds of blazing things to say about cooling off the Red Sox and pulverizing them and all kinds of things. It is 69 degrees right now at Yankee Stadium. And Rick Burleson is the first hitter up against Ed Figueroa, who up until lately had been a real heck on the Red Sox, but they've beaten him 3 times in a row, twice this year. First pitch of the game is outside, ball 1. Early is hitting .294, 3 home runs, 50 runs batted in. Figueroa with a no wind-up motion throws, fly ball, right field. Reggie Jackson there, he's got it. Burleson's out, 1 away. Carbo coming up. Carbo hitting .278, 14 home runs and 31 runs batted in. Bernardo going against Figueroa this year is 0 for 2. Figueroa has given up 2 homers to the Red Sox, one to Hobson and one to Danny Doyle. The Doyle home run, a dramatic drive in Fenway Park into right center field. Right-hander works to Carbo, and he takes a strike. Another big crowd, but not as big as last night. We see some boo up in right field, beat high. Left field also. Strike 2, swinging. No balls, 2 strikes. Figueroa won 19 games last year for the American League champions. Came close to winning 20. He tried against the Red Sox and against several other teams late in September, but never got to that mark. Carbo takes high, a ball. Figueroa, born in Ciales, Puerto Rico. Ground ball taps to Figueroa at the mound. A one-hopper, thrown him out. 2 down. Bernie Carbo out, pitcher to first, 2 away in a hurry. And Freddie Lynn moves in. For the second night in this series, we're pleased to be broadcasting all over the world to American Services or American Forces Radio. Happy to be alerting the men and women in the armed forces all over to our baseball fans at this time of year, a lot of them New York and Boston fans, I'm sure. So, welcome. And we'll be here with you tomorrow night, too. The pitch to Lynn is high for a ball.
We'll soon be able to see Whitey Ford and Mickey Mantle are going to Japan very shortly to play in an old-timers game against Japanese old-timers.
Led by Sadahara-O, there's a high pop-up infield way, and it's going to be taken by Bucky Jets for the 3rd out. 1, 2, 3 inning. Easy inning for Figueroa. And we go to the bottom of the 1st, no score.
Well, the starting times for baseball's American and National League Championship Series were announced Wednesday by Baseball Commissioner Bowie Kuhn. The World Series schedule calls for night games during the week and day contests on Saturday and Sunday. For the evening games, it start at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, day games at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. As previously announced, the series begins on October 11th with 2 night games at the American League Champions Park. That Tuesday and Wednesday continues at the National League site with a Friday night game, followed by a day game on Saturday and, if necessary, a day game on Sunday. The series then shifts back to the American League on Tuesday and Wednesday nights if the final 2 games are necessary. The American League Championship begins in the American League East Champions Park at 3:15 p.m. Wednesday, October 5th, followed by an 8:15 p.m. game on Thursday. The series then switches to the American League West on Friday, October 7th at 8:15 p.m., with games 4 and 5, if necessary, on Saturday at 1:15 p.m., Sunday at 8:15. We'll look at the National League next chance we get.
Yankees coming up in the 1st inning with Rivers, White, and Munson against Reggie Cleveland, who has made a habit of it lately of beating New York. He is 2-0 with them this year, 7-1 in his lifetime. Big article on Reg in one of the papers today. One of the writers interviewed him after last night's ball game. He said, "What am I supposed to tell you? I'm a 500 pitcher." but he hasn't been a .500 pitcher against New York. On the year, Reggie has won 9 and lost 7 with a 4.19 earned run average. He had a shutout 2 starts ago in Toronto on the Twine-Nighter up there, one of those games, along with Don Arthur's double shutout. Last time out, he went 2 1/3 innings against the Tigers. Got hit pretty hard and left, but the Red Sox won the game 8-6, and Reggie was not involved in a decision. He has 7 straight wins over New York since losing in relief in Boston on June 28, 1975. Charleston plays Pawtucket tonight. Alan Ripley will go for the Pawtucket Red Sox at Charleston, as the Ball Sox now are down 2 games. Charleston won the first 2 at Pawtucket. So this is kind of a must game for Ripley and Joe Morgan's Pawtucket Red Sox. Final score in the American League: Detroit beat Cleveland 5-3, 5-13-1 for the Tigers, 3-6-2 for the Indians. Bob Sykes, the winner, 5-5. Jim Bibby, the loser, he's 12-12, and Taylor gets the save. First game of 2 at Cleveland. All right, here we go now as Mickey Rivers moves in, hitting .325, 11 home runs, 67 runs batted in. Butch Hobson close on the grass at third. Burleson deep at short. Denny Doyle at second, and George Scott at first. Yastrzemski, Lynn, and Carbo left to right in the outfield. Fisk, the catcher, and Reggie Cleveland on the mound. Left-handed hitting Rivers crouched over home plate. Head and chin right over there as Reggie winds and fires. And he hits it. Reggie Cleveland's first pitch hits Mickey Rivers on the hip. And Rivers is bending over. Billy Martin has come out there. Talking to Mickey Rivers, as on the first pitch of the game, Reggie Cleveland hits Rivers, and they're talking to him. And Nestor Shylock gives him a warning. Shylock said he just came in close. Appeared to get him on the hip bone. And Billy Martin is out talking to Rivers. Shylock. Now Martin is out pointing to Reggie Cleveland. Of course, Rivers has been a pain in the neck for the Red Sox for a couple of years, and ever since that fight last year, there hasn't been any great feeling about it. Good feeling. And Reggie Cleveland normally is a control pitcher. So there's a little discussion going as Shylock, Nestor Shylock, talking to Billy Martin. He had gone out and spoken to Cleveland. Looked in at the Red Sox bench and just put his hand in by his chest, and now Martin is going jaw to jaw with Shylock. Rivers has been treated and is down at first base. Reggie Cleveland taking some warm-up. Billy Martin has a parting shot at Shylock. Of course, if an umpire determines that an intentional hitting a batter or knocking a batter down or a purpose that is made, a $50 fine, and one more time after that is suspension from the game. Rivers at first base. Reggie Cleveland now working to Roy White, the left fielder. And there is a strike call on the inside corner with Rivers bluffing a steal. Rivers at first base, hit by a pitch, the first pitch of the inning by Cleveland. Roy White, a switcher, batting left. Hitting at .281, 14 home runs, a throw over to first base. Cleveland will work a lot over to first base on runners. He unloads rather slowly. And his defense against that is to keep the runner close, try to take a half step away or so by maintaining vigilance on the base runner. There he goes again. Nothing in one to Roy White, who's waiting patiently as Rivers moves off the bag at first, held there by George Scott. First inning, no stories yet. Cleveland drops to the belt. Throws inside to White. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rivers has bluffed stealing twice. It's taken a couple of false steps and then gotten back. White has 14 home runs and 50 runs batted in. Hobson is on the edge of the grass at third, not as deep in as he was on Rivers. Now the set by Reggie. And the pitch. It's high and inside. Ball 2. 2-1 count to Roy White. Herman Munson on deck. Here is the set by Cleveland. Pitch. Ground ball to Doyle. Backs up on, goes to second, 1 to first. They get the double play. 4 to 6 to 3, erasing Rivers and White. So Reggie got the ground ball that he wanted, right to Denny Doyle. Doyle had to let it play him a little to avoid a wicked hop. 2 outs, and Thurman Munson up. Munson hitting .292. 14 home runs, 87 runs batted in. By and large, the guts of the Yankee ball club. Munson takes a while to get squared away at the plate. He goes through a lot of mannerisms. Gets the helmet on right and shoots out his wrist. Flips the bat. Sometimes he says he talks to himself getting ready at the plate. Fouls it off, strike 1. No score, bottom of the first inning. 2 outs for the Yankees. Cleveland receiving a sign from Carlton Fisk. And the 1-strike pitch is on its way. Outside and high, ball 1. For home delivery of the Boston Globe, the number to call is 929-2222. Follow the Red Sox. Follow the world in the Globe. 1-1. Swinging strike, slider. Reggie has junked the slider in recent games, along with a fastball and the change. His changeup has been very effective lately. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Cleveland goes to work. There's a high drive to right field, curving toward the pole. It is going to be foul. Into the crowd, some 290 feet away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chester Shylock calling the balls and strikes. Palermo at first, Brinkman at second, and Garcia at third. Wind up and pitch. Strike 3, swinging, and Munson's gone, so are the Yankees. They go to the second, no score.
Getting back to the playoffs, National League Series begins in the West. 8:15 p.m. games on Tuesday, October 4th, Wednesday, October 5th. The remainder of the series is at the East Park, with Game 3 starting at 3:15 p.m. on Friday, and Games 4 and 5, if necessary, on Saturday at 8:15 p.m., Sunday at 5 p.m. Ben Ogilvie had 4 hits tonight, including his 19th home run. Jason Thompson became the first Tiger to drive in 100 runs since 1966. And Detroit snapped a 6-game losing streak with a 5-3 victory over the Cleveland Indians in the first game of a twilight doubleheader. After the Tigers had spotted the Indians, a 1-0 lead in the first inning, Tim Cochran doubled home a pair of Detroit runs in the second, and 2 runs scored in the third when Thompson hit the first base and was safe when first baseman Andre Thornton's throw was high to Cleveland starter and loser Jim Bivey, who's now 12-12, who is covering first base. Final again, first game, Detroit 5, Cleveland 3. We should have the batteries for that second game coming up momentarily. Checking a game in the American League, first of 2 at Kansas City after 8 now. The Royals lead the A's 5-2. In the National League after 2, no score between the Phillies and the Mets. After 2, the Cubs lead the Expos 1-0. Pittsburgh and St. Louis just getting underway. 3 later games in the National League. Atlanta at San Diego, Cincinnati at Los Angeles, and Houston will be in San Francisco.
We move now to the second inning. Scoreless game, and Carl Yastrzemski's first up against Ed Figueroa. Yastrzemski is hitting .299, 23 home runs, 88 runs batted in. Rivers moves well over toward right center field. The gap on Yaz is in left center, although Roy White is shifted toward that area. Reggie Jackson straight away and deep in right. Figueroa fires and moves Yaz back with a close pitch inside and high, which many regard as a purpose pitch here. Figueroa inside and high to Yastrzemski, but did not hit him. 1 ball, no strike. Carl takes a strike on the inside corner. Yaz is only 1 for 7 against Figueroa this year. Hobson and Rice have hit him best, along with Doyle. Outside, ball 2, 2-1. Second game of the set, with the Red Sox 2.5 back of the Yankees in the American League East. 2 games out in the loss column, and needing this one very badly. 2-1 pitch. High fly ball, center field. Mickey Rivers moves in, has plenty of time, and he's got it for the out. Yastrzemski flies out and is 1 away. Jim Rice up. Rice hitting .322. He's the designated hitter tonight. 38 home runs, leading the American League, and 105 runs batted in, leading the Red Sox in RBI. At Texas tonight, Ken Brett with a 12-11 record goes for the California Angels, and Doyle Alexander 14-10 for the Rangers. Rice getting squared away in the right-handed hitter's box. He has to likes everything just right as far as the speed is concerned. There's a fly ball down into right field. Could be trouble. It's angling away from Jackson. Fights in there fair. Up against the wall. Gets behind. Jackson goes to his leg. Rice is going to third. He's going to have himself a triple. Jim Rice at third base. With a 3-base hit. His 15th of the year. And now more than any Red Sox player since before Jackie Jensen. Jim Rice is at third base. There was a triple in the early innings in the second inning last night when Yastrzemski led off with a triple and scored. See what happens with Figueroa and Carlton Fisk now. Rice has an off-field triple, sliced down the right field line, bounced off the wall, went right past Reggie Jackson. To his legs, he had to track it down, but it's a triple all the way. Bud Fisk up, hitting .310, 23 home runs, 86 runs batted in. Fisk is 2 for 6 against Figueroa, and he takes high, ball 1. And the Yankees bring the infield in about 3/4 of the way. Chambliss is 2 steps off the grass. Randolph about 4. Same as Dent at shortstop, and Bucky Dent is pulled over toward third. Third baseman Greg Nettles is deep. Fisk backs out. So a pattern established in these first 2 games of a Red Sox player tripling in the second inning. Last night they got 2 runs, but they didn't hold up. Fisk ready now. He took a lot of time. Figueroa throws. Strike call, picks up the outside corner. Figueroa is a finesse pitcher. He'll throw the sinker, the slider, from a no wind-up motion. He moves the ball around. Strike 2 called. And he's ahead of Fisk, 1-2. This is the batter that Figueroa needs. With 1 out now, a fly ball to get the Red Sox on the board. But with 2 outs, they need a hit. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Fisk. Got him. Swinging. Throw to third. Got in time. Ball gets away from Nettles. Fisk is out on strike, so they're 2 away. Like that, as Fisk strikes out in a big situation with a runner at third. Every run important in this series, and they're in danger of leaving one on the bases now. With George Scott up, 2 outs, and they need a base hit. Scott is hitting .261, 32 home runs, 86 runs batted in. He takes a breaking ball outside, a ball. Scott has not had a hit against Figueroa this year. 0 for 7. Here it is. Inside to the boomer. And the count is 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Pitch. And it's ball 3. Figueroa working in and out. So far, has not found the plate. 3 balls, no strikes. Butch Hobson on deck. Ready with the pitch is Figueroa. Scott will take a strike. 3-1. Baltimore won the first game over Toronto 6-5. Strike 2 called. 3-2 now to Scott as he watched 2 drift over the outside corner. Toronto got 4 runs in the 8th inning after the Orioles had gotten 4, but the Blue Jays lost by a run, and the Orioles keep coming. Time calls. Scott had asked for time just as Figueroa was starting. It was still early enough, and so Shylock just ran away from the plate, indicating no pitch. Baltimore 6-0. Toronto 5 runs, 11 hits. There's a foul back by Scott. 2 Toronto errors. Mike Flanagan, the winner, 12-10, and Jesse Jefferson, the loser, 8-16. That's the first game of a doubleheader. And the Orioles now have moved into a tie with the Red Sox for second place. 86 wins and 58 defeats. 2.5 outs. And they have a game yet to play. And, of course, a game to play here. At Chicago tonight is Dave Gold going for his 18th win for the Minnesota Twins, and Ken Kravick going for Chicago, 8-7. 3-2 to George Scott. Scott had 1 hit last night, 1 for 3. Here's the payoff pitch. He's 4-4. Tough pitch to take, but George did, and he gets a walk. Runners at first and third, 2 out, and Butch Hobson up. Hobson hitting .264. He had an RBI last night, his 100th of the season. He has 100 RBIs and 28 home runs. And against Figueroa, he's 3 for 6, including a homer. The pitch fouls it off. Strike 1. Right back to the screen. No balls, 1 strike. Rice at third. Scott at first. Ed Figueroa working from the stretch. Comes in with a pitch. Strike 2 called. Pitch had a wrinkle on it. And now Hobson's behind 0-2. He's been behind a lot of times 0-2 this year. Figueroa works to him. Butch takes ball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rice tripled with 1 out, but has remained at third while Fisk struck out and Scott walked. Ready for the 1-2 pitch to Hobson. Here it is. Strike 3, swinging, and they do not score as Figueroa pitches his way out of it. The end of an inning and a half, no score.
Looking at the standings in the American League East again, the Yankees ahead of the Red Sox by 2.5. And as Ned Martin mentioned, the Orioles, by defeating Toronto in the first of 2 games up in Canada, they are tied, temporarily at least, with, or in fact, it'll have to be that way if the game is called off for some reason. 2.5 games back, tied for second. Then the Tigers at 22, Cleveland 23, Milwaukee 29.5. And Toronto in the basement, they now trail the Yankees by 40 games. In the West, Kansas City. Let's see if we have anything final on that first game against Oakland. We had 8 innings, and Kansas City was ahead by quite a bit. We have a final now. They have beaten Oakland 5-2, the 88th victory of the year for KC. So right now, They are 8 games in front of Chicago in the West, 10.5 ahead of Texas, 12.5 ahead of Minnesota, 19 in front of California, 31.5 ahead of Oakland, and 33.5 ahead of the bottom team in the West, Seattle. The totals, by the way, KC 5 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. Oakland 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. Colborne, the winner, he's 17 and 13. Langford, the loser, he is 8 and 17. Let's pause now for station identification. This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Jackson first up against Reggie Cleveland. Second inning, no score. Big chance for the Red Sox to break out in this game, but they could not take advantage of it. There's a ball outside to Jackson. Reggie hitting .276, 25 home runs, and 91 runs batted in. Went hitless last night. Cleveland works Reggie swing, strike one. Mike Paxton struck Reggie out twice. And Willoughby struck him out once. He also had a ground ball for a fielder's choice. Cleveland works to him, and is hit on the ground into right center field. Base hit. Jackson is on. That's the first hit off Cleveland, and the Yankees have a runner with nobody out. Chris Chambliss up. Chambliss hitting .296. 17 home runs and 87 batted in. Our guest on the dugout show, a very personable guy, a very quiet fellow, though. Unlike several of his Yankee teammates, who kind of keeps out of controversy and everything else. Left-handed batter, he's got a hitting streak going. Reggie Cleveland working. And there's a foul ball out of play. Chambliss has hit in 12 straight games now. Rivers has a 10-game hitting streak. And Cliff Johnson, who is not playing tonight, has a 9-game streak for the Yankees. Chambliss stands in against Reggie Cleveland. No balls, 1 strike, infield at double play depth. And here's the pitch. Ground ball, Doyle. Second base way, flips to Burleson. They've got one. That's all they can get. Throw to first base, not in time. The ball was not hit hard enough to be a double play ball. And Doyle got the one he wanted, the lead man, Jackson. Play goes 4-6 from Doyle to Burleson. Chambliss on the fielder's choice. And Greg Nettles, the Yankee third baseman, is up. He's another fellow that doesn't say much. He keeps out of things pretty much, except for the fight last year with Bill Lee. Nettles is hitting .240. But he's got 34 home runs and 95 runs driven in. Left-handed batter with power. One of the better mistake hitters around. Make a little bit of a mistake on that, you can kiss it goodbye, baby, because it's long ball. Nettles backs out as Cleveland takes too much time. 3-6 go. Here's the set and the pitch. It's down low. Ball 1. Enjoy. The 1-0 pitch. Ground foul off the foot of Nettles. He falls down as the ball rolls down the third base line. And the now busy Yankee trainer comes out again to look at another of the walking wounded. He had to come out and minister to Mickey Rivers, who was hit by a pitch. This time, Nettles hits his right instep with a foul ball, and it hurt. But he is shaking it off. There'll be no spray needed. 1 ball, 1 strike. A ball and a strike to Greg Nettles. You often wonder sometimes how batters can shake them off that quickly, because that's sounder it off your toes, your instep, and then get in there and take a smooth, level cut at the pitch. But they do it. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nettles. It's a soft pitch outside. A change-up, ball 2. 2-1. Outfield shifted to right on Greg. Yes, gives him the left field line. Lynn is several steps toward right center, and Carbo straight away and deep in right. Scott holding against the runner, Chambliss, of course. That puts the hole on the right side of the infield. Here it is. Strike, swinging another change, and it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Yankees second inning, no score in this one. Cleveland looks over toward first. Throws. Low, a ball. 3-2 now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Nettles looks down toward third base coach, Dick Howser. We'll watch Chambliss off first base. He takes a 3-step lead. Long look by Cleveland. Throws to first. Not in time. Reggie ready. Here goes Chambliss, and it's fouled off right into the Yankee dugout and fielded by manager Billy Martin. He was sending Chambliss. Nettles has struck out 74 times this year. Leader on the club is Jackson at 115. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Cleveland set. Throws. There goes Chambliss. Fly ball, deep right field. And Carbo comes in now. He's got it. Wasn't as deep as I thought it would be. And it's just another out. Well, started off the bat well, but then died. And Carbo had to come in a couple of steps. So there are 2 away, and Lou Piniella is up. Oh, he here going through the stadium. It's not Lou. It's Lou. Sweet Lou Piniella. Designated hitter, batting .325, 10 home runs, and 39 runs batted in. The set by Reggie Cleveland. Chambliss off first. Pitch is high to Piniella. Ball 1. Piniella has been a big factor on this team this year, getting them turned around. Backed out. He had almost given up on him for dead, and he had given up on himself almost. When the Yankees acquired Jimmy Wynn as their right-handed designated hitter, where did that leave Piniella, he said. Not in the outfield, but turns out Wynn's gone and Pinella's here. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Swinging strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Playoff at Pawtucket, or at Charleston, rather. It is Charleston 2 and Pawtucket 2 at the end of 3 innings. Ripley and Merchant, the battery for the Paw Sox. Charleston gives them a tough time in that International League final playoff. Now the delivery to Piniella is a breaking ball away. Ball 2, 2-1. Second game batteries, or pitchers in the Toronto-Baltimore affair. Rudy May for the Orioles, trying for the sweep. And left-hander Jerry Garvin will go for Toronto. He's the one that pitched so well here against the Yankees and losing a tough one to Torres last week. 2-0 ball game. The pitch to Piniella. Line toward left field, curving, and it is a foul ball. Foul, just foul, down the line into the corner. Ooh. Chambliss, who had turned third, goes back to first. Final score in the Oakland-Kansas City first game. Well, they're playing at Kansas City tonight, so they got the water off the stadium out there. Squeegeed it off, I guess. The Royals won it 5-2. 5-11-1 for Kansas City. 2-7-1 for Oakland. Winning pitcher, Jim Colburn, 17-13. Rick Langford, the loser, 8-17. There's a game yet to play. Now, Piniella backs out again. Who was born in Tampa, Florida, and still lives there. 2 pitch. High fly ball, left field. Very high, but not too deep. Back goes Jazz, and Yastrzemski has it for the 3rd out. We go to the 3rd inning, no score.
Looking at the National League standings, it's about decided in both divisions. The Phillies in the East lead the Pirates by 8. Cardinals follow in 3rd, 14.5. Cubs tied with them at 14.5. Montreal 24. New York Mets in the basement 33. In the Senior Circuit West, Dodgers lead the Reds by 13.5. The Reds are meeting the Dodgers later on the West Coast. Houston's 3rd place, moving up on the 2nd place Reds. They're trailing by 16. They're over 500 now, 73 and 72. San Francisco 22.5. San Diego 27. And in the West basement, Atlanta trailing by 34 games. Nothing much to report in the way of scores. Mets and the Phillies after 3. Still no score. Now after 4. No score. Second game in the American League, Detroit, after winning the first game 5-3, have failed to score in the top of the first. Wilcox 6-1 for the Tigers. Hood 2-0 for the Indians. Other ball games: Baltimore and Toronto just beginning the second game. The Orioles took the first one 6-5. Minnesota and Chicago. That game is in the first inning. We have nothing to report yet. Gold against Kravik, Minnesota, Chicago. Texas and California also in the first inning. Brett opposing Alexander. And Oakland and Kansas City, that second game. Pitchers have not been announced yet, so they have not begun.
2 innings have gone by, and it's a 0-0 ball game. 1 hit apiece. The Red Sox had the best opportunity to score. A 1-out triple by Rice in the second inning, but could not bring it across. Denny Doyle up, and so is Jim Wood.
Thank you, Ned. Denny batting at 239 with a couple of home runs, 42 batted in, and the first pitch from Figueroa slips the plate for a call strike. 0-1 on Doyle, and we're starting out pitching-wise, just as we did last night, with Guidry and Paxton. Bouncing ball at Chambliss Field, fires on to Figueroa, and they got Doyle 3-1. Chambliss was backing. He had to let the ball play him, but Figueroa got there, and they easily put Doyle away. So there's 1 out. Here's Burleson. Flying to Jackson to start off everything. Baltimore's won. They're now in a tie, 2.5 games behind the Yankees, as are the Red Sox. Everybody keeps shaking their heads. How's Baltimore doing it? How are they doing it? Rizzuto said it now. Don't understand how they're still up there.
Weaver says, listen, we've got some people. We do still have some of our pros back, Belanger and people like that, and Lee May. And we got a lot of kids that want to play.
All right, Ned. Burleson looks at a strike right down the middle. Things Figueroa won't do is hurt himself much. He's not going to give you too much. He walked Scott on a close pitch, but over the ball game, you're going to have to go after him. Works to Burleson, long foul, upper deck, bouncing back into the lower deck. 2 strikes on the rooster. Bernie Carbo will be next. Been lucky with the weather here. It's been bad every morning. It's cleared off in the afternoon. That was a terrible rain in the Midwest. Doubleheaders stacking up out there. 3 of them are being played tonight. Figueroa works and sails in a big high curveball. 1-2 the count. Press box absolutely full again with people standing up over there. 1-2 pitch. Tap towards third, and the Nettles, he boots it around, picks it up slow, doesn't get him. A bobble on the point of Nettles, and they're going to give Burleson a base hit, as Nettles had to go off to his left. And the Rooster gets a base hit, and the crowd doesn't like it. He wants poor Nettles to get another error. He had 4 in one game the other day. So 2 hits now off Figueroa. Incidentally, applications for playoff and World Series tickets have been sent to the Red Sox to season ticket holders. If season ticket holders have not received their applications, please contact the Red Sox ticket office at Fenway Park. Carbo up. Bounced out to Figueroa his first time. Red Sox have a runner here in the third, but no score. Bernie takes the fastball, moving outside. 1 ball, no strike. Torres and Peon. Tomorrow night in the wrap-up here, and then on to Baltimore for 3 more. Carbo takes ball 2, same place. Figueroa trying to spot the ball outside, has missed twice, and now Carbo taking a look at Eddie Yost. 2-0 the count. Again, Red Sox rooters, you can tell by the red hats in the audience, but far outnumbered by Yankee fans here tonight. We might have 50 again here tonight, or better. I don't know. Carbo ripped the foul back into the netting. 2 balls and a strike. 55 last night, the biggest crowd in the history of the new Yankee Stadium. And they were making announcements a while ago about tomorrow night's crowd and what tickets are left. You could stuff in your head, I guess. Short lead by Burleson. Carbo swings through a fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carbo out of the batter's box, and Munson does some landscaping down there while Bernie takes a little walk to get a better look at the third base coach. Mr. Yost. Here's the stretch now by Figueroa. And a fast throw over to first base. Burleson got back. Look around. Burleson doesn't have much of a lead right now. Then he starts to wander away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and out. Burleson doesn't go, and Carbo takes high ball 3. 3-2. Speaking of Yost, the first day in here, Don Zimmer had to go to some kind of a luncheon here, which consists of Boston Red Sox fans that used to live in Boston or something, and now live in New York. And he got to ask some very peculiar questions. One of which was, when are you going to get a good third base coach? And Zimmer answered, I've got the best in the business now. Burleson goes. High foul fly ball. Out of play. 3-2. Another thing that Zimmer said happened, one guy stood up and said, I think you leave the pitchers in too long. And another guy right behind him said, no, you don't leave them in long enough. That's what a manager contends with, and you're never right.
The game continues at the beginning of side 2 after a 60-second delay.
That's called the Boston Blowhards Club or something like that. That's right. Anyway, Zim had quite a time fielding their questions. Zimmer went, or rather Burleson went the time before. See what he does here. He goes again. Ball 4, and he walked him. So the Red Sox got a couple of runners now. Second walk given up by Figueroa, putting 2 men on and bringing up Fred Lynn, who really hasn't had a good cut in the series yet. Sox again with a chance to break through Eddie Figueroa. No score, third inning. Constant din, chatter, murmur throughout the big stadium. Outfielder straight away for Lynn. And Figueroa's outside to him. 1 ball, no strike. Burleson off second, Carbo off first. Figueroa with his bristling mustache fires it in and gets the corner this time. 1 ball, 1 strike. White, Rivers, Jackson. The picket line, left to right. Lynn doing a lot of bat waving down here, and the pitch by Figueroa high and wide again, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Tonight, it'll be Forster for the Pirates and Urea for the Cardinals. Here comes Art Fowler out now. Pitching coach of the Yankees for the last half of the year, and he wants to talk to Figueroa. Mets got a run, and they're ahead of Carlton, 1-0 through 4.5 in Philadelphia. Art Fowler. He pitched in organized baseball when he was about 48 years old. Not in the majors, but in the minors. I don't know how old Art is now. He and I were together as kids on the old Atlanta Crackers as early as 1949, and that goes back a few years. 2 balls and a strike. The pitch by Figueroa. Long, high foul ball, out of play. 2-2, the count now on Lynn, with Yastrzemski to follow. Figueroa in trouble in the second inning, and again in trouble here in the third. And some of it he's all making the base on balls. Trying to get the double play ball to get out of this. Looks back at second, and the pitch to Lynn. Wide, ball 3. And he's gone to a full count again. Now we'll see what Zimmer does with the runners. They're all looking at Yost. Oh, big pitch here coming up for both ball clubs. 3-2, and it is on its way. The runners go. Bouncing ball up toward the middle. Picked up by Dent. Safe there. And they throw Lynn out as the runners move up. Dent had to come on. The ball was hit up the middle, but there was no sting to it, and he fielded the ball in front of second base. Couldn't get back to tag the bag or do anything about Carbo, so he took the wise way and threw to first to get Lynn. 2 men out now, 2 runners in scoring position, and the batter is Yastrzemski. Slide to center, his first time up. So again, the veteran Carl Yastrzemski moves into a key role here in this crucial series. They will play him a little bit around toward right. Burleson at third, and Carbo at second. Outside, 1 ball, no strike. Lynn just hasn't stung a ball in this whole series so far. Ready, fighting, another one of those slumps that's just been periodic with him on and off throughout the 1977 season. Pitch to Yaz. Ball 2 outside. 2-0 the count. Nothing is the score, and another Boston threat riding here in the third. Deep and wide of the line, down at third. Figueroa ready for his 2-0 pitch. Strike call, runner high outside corner. 2-1. Yankee fans cheering every strike call. And the man behind the plate tonight, there is none better in the American League, Nestor Shylock. Ready is Figueroa. Pitch to Yastrzemski. Popped up. Bucky Dent, the shortstop, calling for it, weaving around, and puts it away, and the Red Sox are stopped again. We go to the bottom of the third, 0-0.
Still nothing to report on the Orioles' second game. That should be underway by now, with Baltimore winning the first one 6-5 over Toronto, going to a second-place tie lead for right now with the second-place Red Sox. Seattle Mariners have acquired outfielder John Hale from the Toronto Blue Jays with a waiver transaction. The 24-year-old Hale, a .241 batter this year, was picked up by Toronto on waivers from the Los Angeles Dodgers 10 days ago, but never signed with the Blue Jays. Cincinnati's in Los Angeles tonight for the beginning of a 2-game series which could mathematically eliminate the Reds from the National League Western Division title. Cincinnati President Bob Hausum has all but conceded the title of the Dodgers. He said Wednesday that this season has been the most disappointing in his career as a baseball executive and that some changes will be made next year. However, Hausum said he doesn't plan to trade any of his 8 regulars: Pete Rose, Ken Griffey, Joe Morgan, George Foster, Dan Driesen, Cesar Geronimo, Johnny Bench, and Dave Concepcion. Hausum says he still thinks they're the best starting 8 players in baseball, and he expects them to come back next year and do the job.
Program is authorized by station WMEX, the Boston Red Sox Baseball Club, solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or other use of the accounts or descriptions of this game without the express written consent of the Red Sox or WMEX is prohibited. Willie Randolph's the batter. He's at .290. Right-hand hitter facing Reggie Cleveland. Yankees still batting around for the first time. The pitch to Randolph whistles in for a strike. Willie had a hit last night. He's had 4 home runs, and he's driven in 40. Cleveland brings it in, fly ball, right field. Carbo broke back, now comes on and makes the catch. 1 out to Bucky Dent. Dent, a .248 hitter. 8 home runs and 48 batted in. No score, third inning. It's the Red Sox but have had the opportunities tonight but have not cashed them. They've left 4 on. Billy Martin predicted a sweep here, and then what he's going to do to the Red Sox at Fenway Park Monday and Tuesday night. Line drive, left center field, base hit. Lynn comes over to cover it, and Dent has a long single. Bucky Dent wraps a good solid base hit into center. Hit number 2 off Cleveland. Now here's Rivers. First pitch of the ball game. Cleveland buried in his side. So here is Mickey up, and I imagine he's in a vengeful mood. Dent at first, 1 out. Hobson comes in on the grass. Scott holding to the runner, Dent. Mickey and Ed Krause leaning way out over the plate, fouls it into the upper deck for a strike. 0-1. Yankees get out of here tomorrow night, too, and they head for Detroit for a weekend series before dropping into Boston for the Monday-Tuesday night game. Pitch by Cleveland. High pop foul coming back. Fisk after it, near the screen, and he's got it. Mickey Rivers fouls out to Bud Fisk about 3 feet in front of the screen. 2 men out. The batter will be Roy White. McHugh. Bucky Dent. White, obligingly, hit into a double play his first time up. Totals are exactly alike, 0-2-0 for both ball clubs here in the bottom of the third. Little idle toss over to first. Dent really not a big threat. He hadn't stolen a base all year. Only tried once and got thrown out. Another throw over. Pitch is up a little bit high, 1 ball, no strike. Second game at Kansas City tonight. Oakland starting a rookie with the name of Keel. And Denny Leonard, 15 for the Royals, as they move ever closer to the title in the American League West. They won the first game 5-2. Delivery is a breaking ball, down and in. 2 balls, no strikes on White. The Dodgers beat the Reds tonight. The number there will be down to 2. The Dodgers may be the first to put a divisional title in the bag. White takes high and wide, ball 3. Reggie in danger. He's made his first free ticket of the night. 3 balls, no strikes. No score. Third inning. Yankees and Red Sox added hammer and tongs for a pretty well-filled house again in the Bronx. Reggie is set. Here's the pitch. Walking, and we'll pause for identification. This is the Boston Red Sox Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
In the Canal Zone, this is SEN Radio. It's 2 minutes past 8.
Fisk has gone out to the mound now to have a little chat with Reggie. Runners on at first and second, 2 away, and the always dangerous Sherman runs it up. Reggie struck him out in the first inning. Baltimore won the first game, 6-5 over the Blue Jays. Nothing yet on game 2 except the pitchers. Remember, in Baltimore, the scheduled Saturday night game is now an afternoon game at 2:15. And the Sunday game will start at 2:30. So the Brooks Robinson day. All right, 2-on-2 out, and it's Cleveland that's in a jam. And Figueroa has been twice. Long drive, left center field. Yastrzemski on the run. Carl dives, rolls. He got it! Great catch by Carl Yastrzemski to both 2 runs. We go to the 4th, no score.
Pitcher Andy Messersmith's future with the Atlanta Braves is in doubt. A doctor operated on his pitching arm this week, says the veteran right-hander, quoting now, won't have a real good year next season. The 32-year-old Messersmith underwent an operation Monday to have bone chips and spurs removed from his elbow and to have a ligament repaired in the arm. Orthopedic surgeon Robert Wells says the usual procedure after an operation of this nature is for pitchers. The following year, not very bright. But Wells expects Messersmith to resume a successful pitching career in the long term. It will be January or February at the earliest before Messersmith can throw a baseball. Detroit Cleveland second game, no score after 2.5 in the National League at Veterans Stadium. After 5.5, the Mets lead the Phillies 1-0. New York scoring a run in the top half of the fifth inning. Minnesota, Chicago. Twins scored 3 times in the first inning, at least 3-0. 3-0 Minnesota over Chicago after 1 inning. National League again, Cubs at Montreal after 4.5. Chicago 2. Montreal nothing. Skipping back to the American League after 1.5, no score between the California Angels and the Texas Rangers. Milwaukee at Seattle. He played later in the American League. That'll start in about an hour and a half.
38, 48, 58, 68. I don't care how old he is. The man in left field is a complete professional.
He made a great catch that time. It's too bad we weren't able to really hash it over some after he made it because it ended the inning. But he went from dead away left field, where he was playing for Munson, way into center field. There's no chance for Lynn to get over there. And as you watched him out of the corner of your eye and watched the ball drop, I knew that he'd have to dive to make the catch. He did. Left his feet, stretched himself out, got the ball, and better than that, held it in his glove after he hit the ground because sometimes the ball gets jostled out. It was a truly spectacular catch, and it saved 2 runs, as Jim said. Pitch to Rice is up high, ball 1.
I didn't think Brickman was ever going to call it anything after a while.
He was waiting to see if his ball had rolled under Carl, I guess, when he rolled on the ground. One of the fine catches of the season. Pitch is high for a ball, and it comes in a time, but it's spotlighted because it's in a game like this, in a series like this. We made one, I know, years ago, Jim, in 1967. Rice fouls it off for a strike. He tripled his first time up. Then again, early in the season, Billy Roy was pitching a no-hitter right in Yankee Stadium. And Yaz saved it. Howard broke it up with 2 outs and a ninth. Well, Yaz saved it earlier in the 8th inning with a catch much like that. It's just one of these tunnel-stalling things, and it brought everybody up in their seats. He likes to come to games like this, and he's just a climax player. He's at his best. Pitcher's outside, a ball.
It's always the Red Sox and Yankees. Allie Reynolds, second no-hitter. Yogi drops the Williams. Easy pop up and then grabs one falling into the dugout for the second no-hitter. It's always the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Right. Ground ball and a base hit past the dive of Nettles. Rice is on with his second hit. He is now 2 for 2, a triple and a single, and Jim starts it off in the 4th. So again, the Red Sox have a base runner. They've had 1 or 2 on in the last 3 innings. This is the 4th, and it's scoreless. Rice has hit well against New York pitching this year. Carlton Fisk is up. He had a rough time his first time. He came up with Rice at third base and only 1 out, needing a fly ball to score him, and struck out. Figueroa pitched well out of a jam that time. Here's the pitch to Fisk. Goes for it and foul tipped it. Strike 1 off the chest protector of Silac. Jim Rice is now 6 for 8 against Ed Figueroa this year. And Rice is hitting 18 for 45 against Yankee pitching. Outside a ball. That is well over 350, and between 350 and 400 against the Yankees. Rice at first base. Fisk the batter with a count of 1 ball, 1 strike. New York nothing, the Red Sox nothing, 4th inning. And the stretch by Figueroa. The pitch to the plate. The touch takes high, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. set. And the pitch to Fisk, and a high drive deep to center field. Well back is Nicky Rivers. Still going back. He has got it at the wall. Dashes into the wall. Rice returns to first. For the second straight night, Carlton Fisk has sent Nicky Rivers 417 feet away for a fly ball. Here, it's just an out. Anywhere else, it's gone. Deep fly ball. Rivers took backpedaling steps, got the ball by reaching up, and then in one more step, hit into the padded wall out there. One long out, and Fisk must wonder what you have to do to get it in fair territory, even get a base hit, much less a home run out of here. He's hit 3 shots in these 2 games so far, and all of them been caught by Nicky Rivers. Rivers made a good running catch on a line drive by Fisk last night, and he had another similar one to this later in the game. A high drive to straightaway center. Reggie Jackson is retrieving something in right field. He slam dunks the Frisbee over the wall. Oh, whatever it was. So now George Scott is up with Rice at first base. Scotty walked his first time. Figueroa pitching. It's inside and high, ball 1. Figueroa has not been exactly razor sharp. They've been getting their cuts at him. He has fanned 2. He's walked 2. And given up 3 hits. Foul back, running up the stream. 1 ball, 1 strike to Scott. To the boomer. Rice at first. A scoreless ball game boiling into the 4th inning. Scott slams one deep to right field. Back for it. And leaping up and making the catch is Reggie Jackson. Throw to first base for the double play. They don't make it. Rice gets back. And again, a long ball hit. And Reggie Jackson leaps up and makes a fine catch against the right field wall. We're seeing some outfielding play here. Jackson went back. I'm not sure that it was going to be that far. They're playing it again on the big scoreboard in center field. Leaping catch by Reggie Jackson. And a beauty it was. Rice had to scurry to get back. He's been at second base twice on those long drives by Fisk and Scott. Now, this time had to really get back to avoid a double play ball, but the throw from Jackson was off to the dugout side of first base. Here's Butch Thompson. He struck out his first time up. There goes Rice. Go to second base, not nearly in time. He got a tremendous jump that time and steals second. Jim Rice, who doesn't steal many, got off that time as practically standing on the bag when Townsend Phil came in from Munson. The pitch was a ball, and now the Red Sox have another runner in scoring position. For Rice, his 5th steal of the year in 9 tries. Pitch to Hobson. Swings, misses, strike 1. Well, we keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, but it hasn't so far, as Figueroa has been able to stand them off at the pass. Here's the stretch by the right-hander. There's a little looper. Fly ball in a shallow right field. Randolph says he's got it, and he does. Way back into right field goes second baseman Willie Randolph, and the Red Sox do not score. And they go to the bottom of the 4th. 0-0.
We've got a few more scores to report on now. In the American League, after 1.5, Minnesota ahead of Chicago 3-0. California, Texas after 2.5, no score. Second game underway at Toronto. Baltimore won the first one 6-5 to climb to second place in the American League East. They lead the Blue Jays in game 2, 1-0. That is after 1. Second game at Cleveland, no score after 3 between Detroit and Cleveland. Oakland at Kansas City, second game just getting underway. First game was won by Kansas City over Oakland 5-2. We'll have details of that coming up very shortly. Pittsburgh at St. Louis now underway. Pittsburgh failed to score in the top of the first. Mets at Philadelphia after 6 now. New York leads Philadelphia 1-0. Chicago at Montreal after 4.5. The Cubs 2 and the Expos 0. NFL's Baltimore Colts say today that All-Pro defensive end John Dutton has ended his 2-month holdout and will report to training camp. But Dutton apparently still has not agreed to a new contract. Reports earlier Wednesday said Dutton's agent, Howard Flusher, had advised the 4-year veteran to report despite being without an agreement.
Well, the hand is for Reggie Jackson as he steps to the plate after the fine catch that he made off Scott. And they replayed it again on the big board in center just a moment ago. They did not bother to replay Yastrzemski's saving catch to the top of the other inning. Bottom of the other inning. Baltimore 1 and Toronto nothing after 1 inning in their second game. Jackson swings and misses. Strike 1. Reggie Cleveland started him off with a breaking ball. Jackson drove a single to right center field on the ground his first time up. Yankees nothing, Red Sox nothing. Bottom of the 4th. Pitch. Inside and high. 1 ball, 1 strike. All that Scott hit looks as if it would have a good chance of hitting the wall high. But Jackson came down with it. Takes the ball inside. It's 2-1. So Rivers has made a catch against the wall that was not as spectacular as Jackson's, who had to leap. And Yastrzemski made the other great catch in the outfield. Probably more spectacular than the others. He had farther to go. Count is 2-2 to Jackson. The pitch. Strike 3 called. He's out of there. He knows it. No argument. Jackson called out on strike. 2 strikeouts for Reggie Cleveland. Chris Chambliss is up. Chambliss has gone 0 for 1. A fielder's choice his first time. Cleveland looks him over. Chambliss, left-handed batter. Ground ball foul, first base side. No runs, 3 hits for the Red Sox. No runs, 2 hits for the Yankees. Chambliss takes high a ball. The infield is overshifted with Hobson a third of the way up from third base towards second. Burleson over toward the bag and fairly deep, and Doyle and Scott deep on the right side. Inside, ball 2, 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike, 1 out. There it is. Swinging strike. Just something off that pitch. 2-2. Louis Tiant against Mike Therese in the finale tomorrow night. And then on to Baltimore for the Red Sox to engage the very hot Orioles. Ground ball sharply hits to Doyle. Bobbles it, picks it up. Goes to first. He's got Chambliss by 2 steps. Then he off to his left had a little trouble fighting the ball, but made the play. 2 out. Greg Nettles coming to the plate. Slides to right fielder Bernie Carbo in the second. Cleveland pops the ball into the glove. That you, by all rights, should have about a 2-0 lead anyway here. There's 0-0 with the Yankees, and there's a high pop-up by Nettles. Foul ground, third base side. Hobson wants it, and he has it. He was looking at Fisk for a moment. Fisk started calling for it, but no score. 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 5th inning, 0-0.
Here's details of the first game between the Orioles and the Blue Jays. Lee May belted his 23rd homer of the season, scored 2 runs and drove in 3 more. And Ken Singleton collected 2 hits and scored twice as the Orioles beat the Blue Jays 6-5. Flanagan, who pitched 7 innings, struck out 3. He walked 3. That's Mike Flanagan to boost his record for the year to 12-10. The victory was his 10th in the last 12 decisions. The loser was Jesse Jefferson, who's now 8-16. Gave up only 5 hits, was tagged for 4 unearned runs. Kansas City in their first of 2. Al Collins hit a 2-run homer, and Tom Bouquet added a 2-run single to help the Kansas City Royals extend their club record winning streak to 13 games. 5-2 victory in the first game over Oakland. The Royals, leaders in the American League West, have now won 24 of their last 27 games. A 13-game winning streak tied them with Philadelphia for the longest winning streak in the majors this season. Cowan's 22nd homer of the year followed a 2-out single by George Brett in the first inning, and Poquette stroked his 2-run single with the bases loaded in the second to give Kansas City a 4-0 lead off the losing pitcher Rick Langford, who's now 8-17. The Royals added their final run, the 7th inning, on a triple by Brett, the 700th hit in his 4-year career, and a single by John Mayberry. Jim Colborne, now 17-13, went 7 frames before Larry Garrett came on to pick up his 10th save of the season.
Denny Doyle leading off in the 5th inning for the Red Sox. Boston and New York, 0-0 after 4. Doyle grounded to first his first time up, and he takes outside from Figueroa. Ball 1. Here it is. It's a strike call, the sinking fastball at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yankee outfield playing well around short left on Doyle, a left-handed batter. They'll play him to push. The Roy White over toward the line. Very much so. And Rivers in left center. Doyle slaps one that way on the ground for a base hit. Then he leads with a single, and again, the Red Sox have a base runner. Led the last 2 innings with a base hit, but nobody scored yet. Doyle singling to left. 4th hit for Boston. Rick Burleson up, taking some signs from Eddie Yost to third now. Burleson has had an infield hit in 2 trips, 1 for 2. Right now batting at .294. He does go 1 for 2 and drop a point, but that's what they have him doing. Here's the pitch. He squares around, bluffs the bunt, and takes a strike. Chambliss is charging. So is Nettles from third. And they have the institutional bunt defense with the shortstop going towards second and the second baseman going towards first with the corners charging. Nothing in 1 to Burleson. Figueroa pitches, and Burley takes a strike again, and Burleson's mad. He was shortening up on the bat. They were charging from first and third again, and the strike was called, and Burleson's mad at himself more than anything, probably. He looks at Yost again for the sign as to whether they want him to risk the 3rd strike foul on the bunt attempt or swing away and risk the double play ball. Doyle off first base, 3 steps. Figueroa is early in the game endured the perils of Pauline and has gotten out of it. Hung off every cliff and scrambled back. Here's the pitch. And a foul ball as Burley reached for an outside pitch trying to drive it to right. Mickey Rivers is now toward right center field on Burleson a little bit. Jackson has moved in a couple of steps in right. He's straight away. And Roy White playing his, as always, deep left field. It's 0-2 to Burleson. Here's the pitch. Ball outside. Tried to tease him with a breaking ball, and Brewster almost went for it, but held back. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now Burleson moves in. Here's the set by Figueroa 1 more time. Here's the look. Throw to first. Doyle back. One and 2. Hole on the right side of the infield with Chambliss holding the bag. Here's the pitch. There it goes. A line drive into right, down the line. Covered by Reggie Jackson. Doyle takes third. Burleson holds at first with a long single. Runners at first and third. Nobody out. Well, Burley took a shot at right field and drilled it cleanly down toward the right field line. Not down the line, but in from it a little bit. And Jackson, who was, I said, playing shallow, was able to get over and cover it and prevent it from going through for extra bases. Now the Red Sox have another shot at Figueroa. And the Yankee bullpen is getting up. Might be left-hander Ken Clay. Bernie Carbo is the batter. He has bounced to the mound and walked. Goes third. Up swing play at Sparky Lyle. The pitch is outside a ball. Lyle warmed up last night, but never got into the game because Guidry was so overpowering. And Lyle is warming up now in the fifth inning. Red Sox with a threat again. Infield at double play depth. They'd give up a run here. Carbo fouls it back. The count on him, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bernie little tapper back to the box his first time up, and then drew the walk in the third to put runners at first and third. First and second then, with only 1 out. And then the ground ball and a pop-up followed. They did not score. The inning before, Rice had a 1-out triple. He didn't score. There's 2 left on that inning. 1-1 to Carbo. And he fouls it back. Right off the hands that time. The count on him is 1-2. Figueroa has had strikeouts when he's needed them, particularly in that second inning with Rice at third. And he's had some fine fielding behind him when he's needed it. Pawtucket and Charleston are tied 3-3 after 6 innings at Watt Powell Park in Charleston, West Virginia. Now Carbo backs off. Denny Doyle at third. Rick Burleson at first. Here's the set and the pitch. Foul back. He just got a piece of that one.
You really reel off those things in Charleston. Early in the year, I saw you and Lou Skeeter got together. You were going over every hotel, restaurant, and every place else in the town.
Well, when you pass through there once, you remember it. Because you have to. Funny little town, a river town in West Virginia. The capital. 1 ball, 2 strikes. All right, they look in by Figueroa, and Carbo backs out again. It's 1-2. 2 hits this inning, 5 altogether, but still no runs. The stretch by Figueroa. And here comes the Carbo. It's high, ball 2. Came close to being a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Had onion soup for lunch. Oh, really? Didn't want to offend you, Pop.
You never have.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And here it comes. It's high, ball 3. 3-2. So here it is, another big pitch in the game. Game of many big pitches so far. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Bernie Carbo. Nobody out. Red Sox runners at first and third. Burleson and Doyle. A scoreless game in the 5th inning. Ed Figueroa goes to the stretch. Here it comes. Ball 4. Bases loaded. Bernie Carbo draws his second walk. He had a couple last night. Billy Martin taking his slow way to the mound, and that kind of bent-over walk that he has. Burleson goes to second. Doyle is at third. And Martin is to the mound. Sparky Lyle is warming there. He's a left-hander. And, of course, they've got Lynn and Yastrzemski, 2 left-handed batters coming up. Martin talking to Figueroa. popped to short and grounded to short, and Figueroa has owned him so far. Here it comes. He takes a strike, a breaking ball on Beauty. Down and into it. Lynn is 0 for 7 against Figueroa this year. One of the reasons, probably, Martin knows that he's been effective against Freddie, so he leaves him in. One strike to Lynn. Here it comes. Downside. Lynn almost went down, but the pitch was high and tight. Kind of an arching, breaking ball. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Figueroa kicks and throws. Lynn hits the ground ball to Figueroa. Goes to the plate, 1 out. Goes to first base, 2 out. They don't score yet. The doctor could not have ordered anything better than that for Ed Figueroa. An easy little tap to the mound. And a 1-2-3 double play. The throw to home to Munson, forcing out Doyle, and a throw to first base to get Lynn. So now there are 2 outs and runners at second and third, but the Red Sox still have not scored. Lynn has been having a terrible time at the plate in this series. He really has not been able to get a good swing. Yastrzemski up 2 high fly balls for him. High ball 1. Figueroa is just 1 man away from getting out of another jam. Bases loaded to Freddie Lynn and a pitcher to catch a first base double play. Yastrzemski takes high, ball 2, 2-0. Rice is on deck. Yastrzemski's had an opportunity once to drive in runs. He had runners at second and third with 2 out in the third and popped up. Ball 3. Figueroa working him outside that time. 3 balls, no strike. Figueroa, ready. He delivers. Yes, goes for it. Knocks it right back off the body of Figueroa. Picks it up and throws him out. That ball was headed for center field, but it hit Figueroa, and he gets out of another jam. 2 more men left on, and we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. No score.
U.S. non-playing captain Del Finstawall has paired Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson for Thursday's opening Ryder Cup matches, but U.S. Open champion Hubie Green has been benched in the foursomes against Britain and Ireland at England. Nicklaus and Watson play the 5th and final match of the day against Tommy Horton and Mark James, Britain's 1976 Rookie of the Year. Finstawall's decision to drop Green was a difficult one, but he pointed out that Green's play in the World Series of Golf was not too strong. The first foursome off will be Americans Lanny Watkins and Hale Irwin against Bernard Gallagher and Brian Brains. Superior tactics and masterful sail handling figures to be enough to give defender Courageous a 2-0 lead over Australia when the America's Cup Series resumes off Newport, Rhode Island, Thursday. Tactician Gary Jobson's covering strategy paid off for the U.S. on Tuesday as Courageous won by 1 minute and 48 seconds in the opener of the best-of-7 series. The forecast for Thursday is for fair skies, wind at 15 to 25 knots from the west-northwest, ideal for Courageous. Let's pause now for station identification. This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
In the Canal Zone, this is SCN Radio. It's 8:33.
On rather incredible proportions for the Red Sox as they have left 7 men on base in the last 4 innings. 7 in the ball game, but in the last 4, 2, 2, 1, and 2. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in scoring position. The ball that Jazz hit was hit hard, and if it had not hit from off the leg or glove or something, Figueroa probably would have made center field for 2 runs, but not tonight. And the Red Sox looked a little down taking the field after that. A chance to go ahead, bust this open, and they have not taken advantage of it. Figueroa has courageously worked his way out of it. Line drive to Hobson, 1 out. Lou Piniella lining the first pitch to Butch Hobson for out number 1 in the 5th inning. Reggie Cleveland pitching 2-hit baseball, but the best he gets so far is a scoreless tie. Willie Randolph up. He has flied to right field his only time. raining in another spot in Missouri now, in St. Louis. Time called in that game. Rain. Pitch to Randolph. It's ball one inside. No runs, 5 hits, and 7 left for the Red Sox. No runs, 2 hits, and 3 left for the Yankees. Fly ball, right field. Under it, Bernie Carbo. Coming in. He's got it for the second out. Randolph flies to right for the second time. And the ninth man in the batting order, Bucky Dent up. He drilled a single to left center. With one out in the third, but died. There was another out, then a walk, but then a Munson with that fly ball that almost got into left center, except for a brilliant catch by Yastrzemski to save, at that time, 2 runs. Here's the pitch to Dent. It's the slider outside, ball one. Time call now, and fifth. Moves into the dugout. Equipment check. 7th annual Jimmy Fund Golf Classic will be held at Pleasant Valley Country Club in Sutton, September 23rd. Clubs from all over New England will be represented. Former Red Sox manager and American League president Joe Cronin will be honored in this year's tournament banquet for his many years of service to the Jimmy Fund. Any club interested in participating in the tournament, contact a representative of the Freedom Federal Savings Bank or the Jimmy Fund office in Boston. All right, Fisk is back with another glove, and here's the pitch to Bucky Dent. Fly ball, left field, very high, and should be easy for Yastrzemski. He's over toward the line. He's got it. Cleveland has a 1-2-3 inning, and we go to the 6th. 0-0.
Rechecking our scoreboard now. We do have a few additions, nothing exciting, but let's check the Orioles game. We can find that on the wire. That game should be underway by now. We did have one first inning score, Orioles 1, Toronto nothing, and that's about it. National League after 8, New York leads Philadelphia 1-0. Cubs at Montreal now after 6.5. It is Chicago 2 and Montreal nothing. Skipping back to the American League in the second game, Oakland trails Kansas City 4-0 now. California, Texas after 4.5, Rangers 1, and the Angels nothing. Minnesota at Chicago after 3.5, Twins 3, and the White Sox nothing. Second game at Cleveland now after 4.5. The Indians lead Detroit 1-0. Detroit took that first game 5-3. Senator Bob Lanier says he'll sign a new 4-year, $2 million contract with the NBA Detroit Pistons. A 29-year-old center led the Pistons in scoring and rebounding last season, averaging more than 25 points and 11 rebounds per game. Lanier's old contract expired at the end of the 1977-78 season, but he indicated to club officials at the end of last season that he wanted a new pack before training camp opened. Still no score. The Red Sox had numerous scoring opportunities, have not cashed in.
All right, 5 rather unruly innings here as far as scoring is concerned. There hasn't been any. 0-0 ball game. 5 hits for the Red Sox and 2 for the Yankees. Here's Jim Rice and Jim Wood.
Rice 2 for 2, a triple and a single, and it's led to nothing. Say, Figueroa has been running through raindrops, is not saying enough. He's been running through a torrential downpour like he just had in Kansas City. But he's escaped. Ground ball foul, left field side, a strike. 0-1 the count. Meanwhile, Reggie Cleveland on a brilliant 2-hit shutout through 5 innings, but he has nothing to work with. No. Base paths have been clogged with Red Sox runners. Rice is pitched real close. 1 ball, 1 strike. Up around the face, too. I don't know what is erupting around here, but a lot of noise about something. Could be anything here. Big hard swing on a fastball. He didn't get it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Crowd here has been fairly well behaved, though. For the most part. I will say that. Figueroa goes to work. Delivers high to right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Red Sox with 5 hits. The Yankees with 2. No score, 6th inning. Baltimore won the first game. They're winning the second. Here's the delivery. Ground ball hit down to Neville this time. He's up with it. Across to Chambliss. Low throw. He digs it out. And they get Rice for the first time tonight. Pudge fifth. That's the way the Red Sox have been going. Pudge was up in the second inning with Rice at third, one out, and struck out. Then in the fourth inning, he hit the ball 417 feet, and it was caught. One out, nobody on. Cougar is warming up in the Red Sox bullpen, probably for his own enjoyment, I would imagine. Ran up with the ball, was just to punt it, but Neville's playing a very deep third and didn't offer it. An outside pitch for a ball. 1-0 the count. Zimmer and Martin. A war of nerves here tonight. Kansas City way out in front of Oakland in game 2, 4-0. They won the first game. Strike called on Pudge, 1-1. Something happens to Pudge on every road trip. He had another peculiar one he ran into today after the bat being in his room in Minnesota. Ground ball hit down to short. Thrown on the first, 2 out. He's being interviewed by Sports Illustrated. One of the young lady sports writers reporting to the coffee shop. They spent about an hour there, and at noon, Pudge asked for 2 more cups of coffee, and they said, we'll have to put that on another check. He said, what for? He said, the breakfast shift is over, and we're now going to the noon shift. Well, fist exploded. It almost took the roof off the coffee shop. Too bad he didn't. He doesn't have trouble with hotel people. Here's Scott up with 2 outs, nobody on. 2 outs, and Figueroa trying to have an easy inning here in the 6th. Boomer lands into center field, the base hit. So Scott gets his first hit, and the Red Sox 6 for the night. Figueroa's had 1-2-3 inning in the ball game, and that was the first one. Oh, Miles bat here for Boston, and Butch Hobson up. They've handled him tonight. Figueroa struck him out of the second inning and popped him up to Willie Randolph in the 4th. Boomer feels that his stroke is back. He's swinging the bat real good. Or the stretch drive. A check swing. No, says Steve Palermo, the first base umpire. Ball 1. He did not commit himself. Look over the shoulder by Figueroa. Scott not too much of a threat, and a foul drifting back onto the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Back ballpark, packed press box. Broadcast, telecast, going all over. This game is not without coverage of all the media. Drive by Hobson, right center field. Rivers and Jackson both coming on, and Ruggie makes the catch to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. No score.
Well, they call the old-fashioned pitcher's battle going on right now between the Red Sox and the Yankees. The Red Sox cannot afford to lose this game. They lost last night. Of course, they cannot leave Yankee Stadium in first place, but they can move to within a half game. They can win today and, of course, again tomorrow. Mike Torres, 16-12, will be going for the Yankees. At least that's what Billy Martin has stated. The veteran Louis Tiant, it'll be Spanish night at Yankee Stadium for the last game of the series there. That'll be tomorrow night. Louis Tiant for the Red Sox, Mike Torres for the Yankees. See, we have some other items of interest. Defensive end John Dutton, I think we mentioned it a while ago, reported to the Baltimore Colts training camp today. Elsewhere in other sports items, according to the latest figures, U.S. Open champion Guillermo Villas tops the Colgate Grand Prix tennis standings with 1,672 points. That's 356 points better than Brian Gottfried and more than double that of Wimbledon champion Bjorn Borg, who is third on the list. The leader at the end of the season gets a $300,000 bonus and will lead 8 qualifiers in the Grand Masters tournament.
Last half of the 6th inning, and Reggie Cleveland must go to the top of the batting order. Once again, before we get along any further, I'd like to call your attention to the fact that applications for playoff and World Series tickets have been sent by the Red Sox to season ticket holders. If season ticket holders have not received their applications, please contact the Red Sox ticket office right away, like tomorrow. Ricky Rivers up. He has been hit by a pitch, the first pitch of the game, and fouled out to fifth. Hobson and Scott are in at the corner. Outfield straight away for Rivers. Batting out of a severe crouch. Noggin tucked pretty well out over the plate. And an outside delivery by Cleveland. 1 ball, no strike. Cleveland gave up a hit in the second inning and a hit in the third. Next pitch by Reggie. Drilling fastball misses. Ball 2. Billy Martin got a little cool. He went down and put a jacket on. They hadn't cooled off that much here. 70 when the game started. 2-0 pitch by Cleveland. Foul fly ball out of play. Third base side, and the count on Rivers goes to 2-1. Baltimore picked up another run. They're leading Toronto 2-0 at the end of 2. They won the first game 6-5. Fly ball, line drive, but Carbo at the warning track has got it. Another screeching line drive by Rivers, but Carbo in perfect position, back 2 steps and gathered it in. So 1 man out of the 6th inning. And Roy White up is hit into a double play and got the only walk that Reggie has given up on 4 pitches back in the 3rd inning. Baltimore keeps coming. By Cleveland. Pitch to White. Little foul ball dumped down the left field line, but it's out of play. 0-1. The Yankees have everything on their sheet tonight. Games remaining to be played, who they got to play, and things like that. The Yankees have drawn here in their ballpark 1,836,000 in 66 dates. The Red Sox in 67 dates, 1,895,000. A foul backing out of play. 1-2 the count on White. The Yankees in home dates have 6. 3 with Detroit and 3 with Cleveland. After this series has run its course tomorrow night. 1-2 pitch to White. A foul straight back. Still 1-2. Ted Lynn straight away in center. Well, what Freddie wouldn't give for a base hit to come out of this slump he's in. Foul chip right at the feet of Nestor Shylock. Actually, he might have hit the veteran arbiter. Still 1-2. Nobody on. We are scoreless in the bottom of the 6th in a battle royal at the stadium. Delivery just missed outside. Reggie turned the pitch over, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wide expanses in the garden there in the big ballpark. Swinging a miss, he took a little bit off of it, and White strikes out. It's Cleveland's 3rd. There's 2 away, and Thurman Munson the batter. He struck out and hit a lazy fly by Arnaud. It was a play that Diaz made a good catch on. The 3rd inning. Munson a threat every time he comes up. So's the guy behind him, Jackson. The Yankees have been winning the game. They've had to. They have not been able to shake off either the threat of the Red Sox or the Orioles, though. And this explosive stretch dive that started for them sometime in the month of August. Good pitch to Mr. Munson for a strike. Kind of shakes his head, but he knows better than to argue very much with Shylock. Hobson hugging the line down at 3rd. Munson takes strike 2. Good fastball by Reggie. Just above the belt. And it's 2 strikes from the Yankee captain. He still carries that title. He did it 1 time. and 2. Line drive right to Hobson, head high. A 1-2-3 inning for Reggie. We go to the 7th, no score.
Game at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia is over. Now our machine wire is garbled, so let's see if we can make out. Final score was 1-0 Mets over the Phillies, and Nino Espinosa was the hero, both pitching and batting. Single home a 5th inning run, and then outdueled 21-game winner Steve Carlton to lead the Mets 1-0 victory over the Philadelphia Phils. The rest of the item is garbled. We do have the meat of it anyway. Nothing else to report in the National League. Let's see if we have anything on the Orioles game. That's the one we're concentrating on other than the game we're broadcasting to you right now. Again, if you just joined us, the Orioles took the first game from Toronto 6-5. Second game now after 2 innings of play, a slow game. After 2, Orioles 2, Toronto 1. The Birds scoring a run in the first and the second. Minnesota, Chicago after 4, Twins 3, White Sox nothing. By the way, the totals in the National League final with the Mets and the Phillies. The Mets 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. Phillies no runs, 3 hits, and 2 errors. Espinosa the winner. He's 8-12. Carlton a loser, 21-9. Time of the game 1 hour 59 minutes. Attendance 25,119. We got a call a while ago from Dick Allen. Who at one time was right now he's stationed over in Maryland and was at Guatemala, and says that a lot of service people listen down in Guatemala. The signal coming in real good. And a lot of people, we'd be surprised, listen in this country with their shortwave sets. Let's get back to a ball game at Yankee Stadium.
Steve Carlton lost a tough one tonight. And he's good for his 22nd victory. New York Mets, 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. The Phillies, no runs, 3 hits, and 2 errors. Nino Espinosa was the winner, 8-12. Carlton is now 21-9. 25,000 in Philadelphia. Here's Doyle up with Burleson behind him. These two put the pressure on in the 5th inning when they had back-to-back singles. The Red Sox had the bases full with nobody out and didn't score. Roy White comes in about as shallow as he'll play anybody. And the pitch to Doyle is inside. 1 ball, no strike. Denny 1 for 2. Smashed the ball in between Nettles and Dent for his base hit in the 5th inning. Figueroa works again. A strike call, 1-1. Figueroa has been in a lot of trouble. Cleveland has retired 10 in a row and has pitched a magnificent ball game. But the Red Sox have stranded 2, 4, 6, 8 so far. Doyle, line, foul, way down the right field line. 1-2 the count. Martin starting to pace again. Zimmer just sitting still, and you just see the peak of Zim's red cap down in the corner of the dugout. A little bit high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Figueroa bends in to take the sign. Delivering now 2-2 to Doyle, and a shot into right field, base hit. Just out of the reach of the lunging Willie Randolph. And Doyle is 2 for 3, and that's the way it starts here in the 7th. 7 hits now off Figueroa. And Rick Burleson up. Burleson is 2 for 3. And stirring around in the Yankee bullpen, and you can look for 28. He's been up before. His name is Lyle, and I think you know him. Here's Burleson up to front and pushes it foul along first. No balls and a strike. The left-hander is up. And I'd say it's a good bet it's not Kenny Holtzman. Sparky Lyle throwing again for the Yankees.
If it were 15-2, it wouldn't be Kenny Holtzman, probably.
It was 16-3 the other day against them when they put him in. Nettles stays in 2 steps on the grass at third. Chambliss ready to come up the line. They still think the Roosters funny. He shortens up the bunt, lays it down the first base side, picked up by Chambliss. He'll feed it to Randolph, and a successful sacrifice by Burleson moves Doyle into second. 3-4 on the sacrifice. Again, the Red Sox have a man in scoring position. And Bernie Carbo really hasn't had too much of a chance to swing tonight. Bounced out in the first inning. The next 2 times up, Figueroa has walked him. 7th inning, 0-0. Don't go away. Can't imagine that you'd want to anyway. This is what it's all about. a few clouds of dust, or bursts of dust in the infield. Carbo takes the ball up high, 1 ball, no strikes. Another opportunity for Boston. Rivers off a little bit toward left center on Carbo. Pitch by Figueroa, and it's high ball, too. And Figueroa's behind Bernardo again. And slump-ridden Fred Lynn is on deck. Lyle is ready. He's not really firing out there. He's watching the field of play. He's warmed up a long time before. Here's the pitch. There's a strike, 2-1. Since the first inning, the Red Sox have had constant pressure on Figueroa, but he's been equal to it. That and a couple of fine outfield plays by Rivers and Jackson saved him. He looks back toward Doyle. Here's the pitch to Carbo, and it's high, ball 3. 3-1 the count. Figueroa doesn't really want to give Bernardo anything he can do much with because Carbo has hurt the Yankees. He hurt a lot of people. Very lengthy look in to take the sign from Munson this time. 3-1 pitch to Carbo. Swung on it, just strike 2. Carbo went out there trying to nail it, and now Munson goes running out to the mound to have a word with Figueroa. And he's getting just like this. He puts his mask up on top of his head when he goes out to talk to the catcher. Saw Carl do that, thought it was pretty nice. But the only thing, he never imitated this doing, I think. The conversation runs a little long for Nestor. He's gone out and break it up. 3-2 on Carbo again. Ball game nearing the 2-hour mark here in the top half of the 7th inning. And a brilliant pitching duel, Figueroa and Reggie Coleman. Figueroa gets set. Good lead by Doyle. And the payoff pitch on its way. A foul ball out of play. Tomorrow night, Mike Torres, the 15-game winner of the Yankees against Louis Tiant. And then on to Baltimore for Friday night, Saturday afternoon at 2:15, Sunday afternoon, 2:30. Back home for the Yankees Monday and Tuesday. Probably the shortest home stand of the year. And on out to Tiger Town. Figueroa ready again for the full count delivery to Bernie Carbo. And the pitch driven out toward right center field. Jackson coming, dives. And they call it an out. Reggie Jackson saved another one with a diving test in right field. And Doyle has the hold. Second fine outfielding play by Jackson. And there is no justice, Ted. There is no justice. Something dire is going to happen in this ball game, or maybe to the world on a night like this. There's the chance for the run, and Reggie Jackson coming up and making his second sensational catch in right field. Reggie doesn't make that many. He doesn't. But sometimes he can. He's been equal to it tonight. One against the wall on Scott, and this one coming in on Carbo. That would have been in there for a base hit. Billy Martin is out the mound now. They keep waiting for the chinks to show on the Yankee outfield because they have a weakness, Ed. It's that. Nothing much in the way of throwing arm, White, Rivers, and Reggie, and having been with Reggie a couple of years, he can come up with plays like that, but he'll foul up easy plays, and so will Rivers. But the chinks have just not shown. They haven't fouled up anything in this series so far. They've played it well, and they've had to play it well because Figueroa's been in constant trouble all the time. Here's Lynn. 2 men out, and Lynn gets another chance. Popped up, grounded out, hit into a double play. 0 for 3. Pitch to Lynn is outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. If there is justice, the lady with the blindfold, Fred Lynn will hit something someplace and get this run in. We shall see. 2 men out. Doyle at second. Figueroa works. High to Lynn. 2 balls, no strike. Red Sox out hitting the Yankees 7-2, but there is no score in the 7th. Catch by Figueroa. 2-0 pitch to Lynn. And Munson thought the ball got away from him. Actually, it was right behind him, and he started to run back to the screen. And then suddenly wheeled around, and somebody yelled, there it is. And no advance on the part of Doyle. Count on Lynn is 3-0. So Fred can be a little selective here. The average is down to 251. But the appalling thing is he's just not getting any wood on the ball at all. Figueroa drops down, stacks a little off the rubber. Doyle, pretty good lead out at second base. Pitch by Figueroa, in for a strike, 3-1. Glenn appeared to be taking. Wild is idly throwing across now and then. He's ready if Martin sends out the call. Figueroa brings it into Lynn. Strike 2 called. So from 3-0, he has come back to go full with Fred Lynn. Good pitch that time. Tough pitch to handle. Right in on the fifth. Inside corner of the plate. And it's come down to a 3-2 pitch as it did to Carbo. And another back off the rubber by Figueroa. Now, the big right-hander is ready. And the payoff pitch. Fouled out of play. It is getting a bit cooler out here, I note. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Lim. Blue ball rubbed up by Figueroa. He has struggled and struggled, but his big out of the game was in the 5th inning with the bases loaded, nobody out, and he got Lynn to hit the ball right back to him for a double play. Here's the 3-2 pitch again. A ball hit down to the right side. Randolph is up with it. Goes to first in time. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. No score.
As of right now, the Yankees have 16 games to go after tonight. Boston has 17. The Yankees have 8 more games at home, and they have 8 on the road. Red Sox have 9 at home, and they only have 8 more on the road now. The Yankees and Red Sox will meet again, this time at Fenway Park. That'll be September 19th to 20th, just for 2 games. In between, the Yankees play the Indians 4 times, the Tigers 3 times. Those are the ones they play at home. On the road, they'll play Detroit 3 games, 2 at Fenway Park and 3 at Toronto. The Red Sox 9 home games will be 2 with the Yankees, 4 with Toronto, 3 with the Orioles. Away, they play 1 more game. That's tomorrow night at Bart, New York. They also play 3 games with the Orioles away, of course, at Memorial Stadium, and they have 4 games with the Detroit Tigers. Right now, let's pause for station identification. This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
In the Canal Zone, this is SCN Radio. It's 4 minutes past 9 o'clock.
Here's Jackson up again. The Yankees just ran a replay of his catch. Ken and I both saw it, although we didn't say anything, and it looked like Jackson tapped the ball that Carbo hit. The replay looks even more like he tapped the ball. It sure did. And some of the fans, I think, saw it and kind of looked the other way. Reggie takes a ball outside. 1 ball, no strike. But nothing you can do about it now, but it sure looked like the ball was on the ground and Jackson had his glove on it like a cat touching a mouse instead of being under the ball. Cleveland is low, ball 2. Jackson 1 for 2 tonight. Single and struck out. Has the count his way. 2 balls, no strikes. No score. Last half of the 7th inning. And the tension mounting at Yankee Stadium in a must game for Boston. Ball 3 is down low. Cleveland, who has walked only 1 man and has retired 10 in a row, in danger of putting the leadoff batter on. Reggie works. Strike call, 3-1. Jackson knew it. Jackson gets on. I would imagine Martin will get a pinch runner out there as quickly as he can get one. Probably Blair. I don't know. It's just a guess. But Reggie's got a bad leg. Ground ball hit down to the boomer. Brokey's bat. Scott runs to the bag. He's got Reggie all the way. 1 out. But Cleveland comes back from a 3-ball, no-strike count to get Reggie Jackson, and here's Shamblin. He's 0 for 2. The Yankees have left 3 on all evening. Red Sox, 2, 4, 6, 9 men left stranded, and most of it in scoring position. Pitch to Shamblin. Fighting in there, inside corner for a strike. Nothing in 1. Baltimore won the first game, 6-5. They lead in the second game, 2-0 into the third inning. Scores against Flo tonight, coming out of Canada. Down a little bit low, 1 ball, 1 strike. When you're in Canada, the scores are slow coming up there from other places, and when you're someplace else, they're slow coming out of there. Probably have to go through customs. Ground ball to the right side. Doyle up and shovels on just in time. Kenny Doyle had to come charging way in and almost took a header, but retained his balance and tossed underhand to Scott. 2 men out. Greg Nettles up now. Flied out to right field, fouled out to Hobson. Reggie Cleveland in one of those superlative efforts that he comes up with, and so many times against this ball club. Nobody on. Time call as Nettles stepped out of the batter's box to try to figure out what all the hullabaloo was about in the stands, and I don't know either. Pitch is outside for a ball. 1-0 the count.
Slight altercation involving fisticuffs.
Yes, it does look that way. There's about 16 policemen down in the middle of something down here. Just another fun night at Yankee Stadium. 1-0, the count on Nettles. Fastball on the corner, 1-1. Might be safer than he swept a pride of Lions. Reggie pumping, working a ball down low. 2-1. Oh, the crowds have changed here through the years when the Brooks Brothers crowd used to be here. All their elegance following the pinstripe Yankees. But I guess it's changed all over. Long drive by Nettles. Deep right field. If it stays there, it is foul. Steve Palermo taking a feed, and that ball 20 rows back into the upper deck. A tremendous shot by Nettles, and it wasn't fouled by very much. Ooh-wee. That one was almost gonzo. That ball was hit like the home run Jason Thompson hit the other day at Fenway Park. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cleveland working to delivery. Line past Cleveland, almost took his head off. Center field base hit. Cleveland has retired 12 in a row. That's the first Yankee runner since Roy White walked in the 3rd inning, and only the 3rd hit off Cleveland. 2 men out, and the batter, tough guy, Lou Piniella. Slide out to left and lined out to Hobson. Lou Piniella, the big, likable Floridian, has had many a key hit along the pennant trail for the Yankees. Nettles at first. Scott will hold against him. No score. Last half of the 7th inning. A mile threat for New York. Cleveland works. Little pop-up out behind second base. Burleson wants it. Calling. He's got it. We go to the 8th inning. No score.
In the international playoffs at Charleston tonight, I'm not sure whether the Red Sox broadcasters gave the final results of that game or not. The 3rd game of the final series. Of course, the Pawtucket team is the #1 farm team of the Red Sox. Pawtucket lost, though, 4-3. They've had quite a series. And that puts Charleston in the lead in the best-of-7 final round, championship round, 3 games to zip. Earlier, in 12 innings the other night, 2 nights ago, Charleston won 9-8. Then they won by 1 run last night, 3-2, and tonight it's 4-3, 4-12-0 for Charleston. Pawtucket 3-6-0. Selick, I guess that's the way they pronounce it, or Selick was the winner. He's now 2-0. He's won 2 of the 3 games so far for Charleston. And Ripley, the loser, he is 0-2. They'll play again, possibly the final game, if Charleston should win it. Pawtucket at Charleston. If necessary, they'll play on the 16th at Charleston. Then, of course, if necessary for the final 2, the 17th and 18th will be at Pawtucket. Some more scores in the majors. California, Texas, American League, 5.5, 1-0 Rangers. After 5, Twins still lead the White Sox 3-0. Second game at Kansas City, 1.5, Royals 1, Oakland 0. First game won by KC 5-2. Second game at Cleveland, after 5.5, Indians ahead of the Tigers 1-0.
State attendance tonight, another whopper, 54,365. And the 2 games here have gone 109,634. We're in the 8th of a brilliant ball game. Yastrzemski to lead it off his net.
Yes, sir. This one, compared to last night's, is sublime to the ridiculous. Last night's was just kind of a ball game. It was owned by Ron Guidry. And he didn't allow too much to be seen. Here's Yastrzemski up. It's Figueroa. Walking the tightrope is high and outside, ball 1. Figueroa has pitched a gutty ball game tonight. He's had some fine fielding plays behind him. Has been able to get Red Sox hitters in the clutch. There's a drive deep to right center field. Way back goes Rivers at the wall. He's got it at the wall. Certainly. Yes, hit one 400 feet away. And Rivers took it 1 step in front of the wall in right center. Deep. 1 out. Yep, you're playing in Yankee Stadium, not Fenway Park or Tiger Stadium. Of course, Tiger Stadium in center field is deeper than here, even. Jim Rice has had a single and a triple in 3 trips. The Pawtucket Red Sox went down to defeat for the 3rd time in their final playoff. Charleston beat them 4-3, 4-12-0 for Charleston, 3-6-0 for Pawtucket. Ripley got the loss, and now Charleston leads in the series 3-0. They need only 1 more to take it. They play tomorrow night in Charleston. All right, Jim Rice up against Figueroa. And the pitch. Strike called, outside corner. Three long outfield drives and then taken at the wall. One other good catch by Jackson coming in. Catcher a trap. Pitch is high for a ball, 1-1. Red Sox have had one fake fielding play. The catch of Yastrzemski off Munson early and saved a run or 2. So it's been well fielded tonight. Here it is to right. Swings and sends a looper into shallow right center field. Randolph back. He's got it. Good range for Willie Randolph, the second baseman in his second year with the Yankees. 2 out. Carlton Fisk is up. He has struck out. Fly to the wall in center. And grounded out. 0 for 3. 7 hits for the Red Sox, and they've stranded 9 runners. Figueroa got the side in order in the first and has not done so until now. There's a chance to do it now. 2 out, nobody on. Right-hander throws to Fisk, and there's a high pop-up. Third base way, going foul. Nettles over near the line, and he's under it. He has got it. 3 up and 3 down for the first time since the first inning. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees nothing, Red Sox nothing.
This game could go on and on like this, the way this pitching is, and also some good fielding, especially in the outfield for the Yankees, have cut off some potential runs by the Red Sox. Leaders in batting going into Major League action this Wednesday. In the American League, Rod Carew, the Twins at 379. Ken Singleton of Baltimore, 335. Bostock of the Twins, 331. Nicky Rivers of the Yankees, 325. LaFleur, Detroit, 322. And Rice of the Red Sox, 322. National League leader again is Parker, Pittsburgh, 345, followed by Sennett, Pittsburgh, 336. Simmons of the Cardinals, 323. Templeton, Cardinals, 321. And Ken Griffey of Cincinnati at 321. Home run department. American League, Jim Rice, the Red Sox, the leader with 38. Bobby Bonds, California. Craig Nettles of the Yankees, 34. The Boomers, Scott of Boston, 32. Gambler, White Sox, 29. National League leaders, Foster, Cincinnati, 47. Barrows of the Braves, 37. Rosinski, the Phils, 36. Schmidt of the Phillies, 34. Bench of the Reds. Say and Garvey of the Dodgers, 29. RBI's American League, Heisel, Minnesota, 113. Bonds, Californian. Rice of the Red Sox, 105.
Yankees nothing, Red Sox nothing. Chance on chance for Boston, and they have not been able to take advantage of it. The Yankees have had very few chances off Reggie Cleveland, who is pitching a super ball game. He has given up only 3 hits. A single to Jackson, leading off the second. A 1-out single by Bucky Dent in the third. And a single to Nettles with 2 out in the seventh. The batter is Randolph. Line, beautiful stop at third and out. He goes as Hobson makes a great stab. Oh, my goodness. Butch Hobson, a leap to his left on a steaming line drive that was headed down into left field. And with Randolph's speed, he might have made 2 on it. But Hobson went off to his left his feet, and stabbed the ball a foot off the ground. Another fine fielding play. Butch Hobson making this one. Here's the pitch to Bucky Dent, and it's a strike call. Well, everybody that came tonight has gotten money's worth, win or lose. They've seen baseball as it should be played by 2 contenders. It's outside a ball. Fine pitching on both sides. On one side, Reggie has been almost invincible, and then Figueroa getting out of jam after jam. There's a foul to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Bucky Dent. He is 1 for 2, singled in the third. Got a figure hung in effigy over the third base upper deck in the first base side with Red Sox on it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dent takes inside, ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Scoreless ball game, 8th inning. And the delivery is lined to third. Hobson knocks it down, can't make a play. It was a soft line drive this time, and Hobson overcharged it. Reached back. The ball went off his glove, and it goes as a scratch single by Dent. It was not hit nearly as hard as Randolph's drive, and Hobson went to his left. Had to reach back over his shoulder, and the ball went off the heel of his glove. It's a scratch infield single by Bucky Dent. The kind of hit that in a game like this late can often key something. We'll see. Mickey Rivers is up. 4 hits now off Cleveland, and that was of the infield variety. Hobson is close at third. There's 1 out. Rivers has been hit by a pitch, fouled out, and lined to right. Infield up at short double play depth. They're in closer than they would on an ordinary batter. There's a foul ball chopped down the third base side. Bill Campbell up in the Red Sox bullpen alone.
The game continues at the beginning of side 4 after a 60-second delay.
Doyle comes over to talk to Cleveland. Hobson ties his shoe at third. Ball seemed to handcuff Butch, who's off to one side, and he had to reach back. Ball did not stick in his glove. Infield hit. Doyle has had his word with Cleveland. Rivers bent over the plate. Now the set by Cleveland. And the pitch. Fly ball hit well toward left field. Yastrzemski well back, way back. Back he goes, and he's got it at the edge of the warning pass for out number 2. He had to go and backpedal and side saddle and everything to get back under that one, but it was hit high enough that he could get there. Fly ball to deep left by Rivers, taken by Yastrzemski, 2 out. White is up. Bill Lee is just throwing to get some work in the bullpen now out with Campbell, but he is doing it towards a future start. Or maybe one batter in this game, you never know. Roy White is up. And the pitch is a strike call. Reggie Cleveland just pitching a mincemeat of a game. He has been something. Sharp, control good. Goes to first. Ed Figueroa has given up a back-to-base hit, 7. He's walked 2, but nary a run has been scored. Here's the pitch to White. Ground ball to shortstop. Burleson has it. Flips over to Doyle, covering second. They get the out. Fourth out on Dent, and we go to the ninth inning. 0-0.
Other leaders in the majors. They left off with the RBIs last time around. Foster, the Reds, leads the National League 135. Brzezinski, the Phils, 119. Jeff Barrows, Atlanta. Ron Say of the Dodgers, 107. Steve Garvey of the LA Dodgers, 106. Behind Heisel of the Twins in the American League with 113. Bonds, California, and Rice of the Red Sox, 105. Hobson of Boston, 100. Thompson, Detroit, 99. Stolen bases in the American League, Pie-Tech, Kansas City, 46. Ramey, California, and Page, Oakland, 36. Barnes of California has 35 steps. LaFleur, Detroit, 33. National League, Tavares, Pittsburgh, 61. Cedeno, Houston, 52. Morgan, Cincinnati, 47. Marino, Pittsburgh, and Richard, San Diego, each 45. Pitching department in the American League, most victories. Nolan Ryan, California, 19-14. Gulf, Minnesota, 17-9. Palmer, Baltimore, 16-11. May of Baltimore and Torres of the Yankees, 16-12. And Colborne, Kansas City, 16-13. National League leaders, Carlton, the Phillies. Now, after losing tonight, he's 21-9. Rick Russell, Chicago, 19-8. Tommy John of the Dodgers, who's pitching tonight against the Reds, 18-5. Seaver, Cincinnati, and 4, St. Louis, 17-6. ERA, American League leader, Tanana, California, 2.50. His teammate Ryan, 2.66. National League leaders, John, L.A., 2.48. Candelario, Pittsburgh, 2.51.
All right, it's the ninth inning. There is no score in this one. George Scott leading off against Ed Figueroa. Scott has walked, lined out to the wall to Reggie Jackson, and singled to center. And there's a drive in the right center field. Rivers comes on and makes the catch on the run. A sinking, wicked line drive that was caught by Mickey Rivers, who is playing just about right for Scott. He got a good jump. He made the catch about 2 feet off the ground, but it was not of such difficulty that it would have been had he been playing over more toward left center field. So Scott is out, lining hard to center. Here's Butch Hobson. He has ended 3 innings. And he hits the fly drive towards center field. Rivers going back for this one near the wall. He's got it at the wall again. Incredible. 3 feet from the wall, about 3, maybe 4 feet. As Rivers, busy out in center field all night long, has been coming in, going out, going to right and back, mostly back. A deep fly ball by Hobson. 2 outs in a hurry. And now it's Denny Doyle. Doyle is 2 for 3. Everything has happened in the world for the Red Sox in their favor. They've been taking lusty rips at the ball, but they've seen them caught 9 miles away, or else something else has happened. So Doyle is up with 2 outs, and the outfield now comes in. Pitch to Doyle. Ground ball, second base. Randolph has it. Over to first. That's it. They go to the bottom of the ninth. No score.
The Michigan Wolverines are the new number 1 team in the Associated Press college football ratings this week, while the Oklahoma Sooners, number 1 in the preseason poll, were having their problems, defeating unheralded Vanderbilt 25-23 last weekend. Michigan clobbered Illinois 37-9. The Sooners dropped to 5th place. That pushed the Wolverines from preseason runner-up to the number 1 position in the first regular season polls. Michigan received 42 of 62 first-place votes and 1,162 of a possible 1,240 points in nationwide balloting by sports broadcasters and writers. Southern California, 4th in the preseason ratings, jumped to 2nd by trumping Missouri 27-10. Notre Dame, a hard-pressed 19-9 win over Pittsburgh, held into 3rd place, while the defending national champion Panthers skidded from 7th to 16th. Alabama, meanwhile, trounced Ole Miss 34-13, climbed from 6th to 4th. Then came Oklahoma, followed by Ohio State in 6th, Texas A&M, and following them is Houston and Penn State.
So it's the bottom of the ninth, and everybody's yelling. There's something going over in the first base section. They're not looking at the field, so somebody has a sign, or maybe there's a television camera or something. No score in the game, and Reggie Cleveland will have to face the heart of the batting order for the New York Yankees. Thurman Munson, Reggie Jackson, and Chris Stamblin. No runs, 7 hits for the Red Sox. No runs, 4 hits for the Yankees. And it's sudden death right now for Boston. Thurman Munson stands in. He is struck out. Slide out to Yastrzemski on the diving catch that Yaz made in the third inning. And he's lined hard to Butch Hobson. Hobson guarding the line at third. Line drive, foul, third base way. First pitch fouled hard by Munson. That's some pretty good shots off Reggie Cleveland in the 8th inning. The line drive that Hobson made a great stab of off the bat of Randolph. And the fly ball beats the left by Mickey Rivers. Cleveland works to Munson. Line drive, base hit, center field. Fifth hit off Cleveland. A potential winning run at first base, and Don Zimmer comes out toward the mound. Bill Campbell is throwing and warm in the bullpen. Zimmer walking slowly out to talk to Reggie Cleveland. An embattled figure, but not really embattled. He is now with a winning run at first. But he's pitched a marvelous ball game. And it's just a shame that possible good pitching like this that the Red Sox have not had a plenitude of all year long should possibly go to waste. Now Zimmer is talking with Fisk and Cleveland. Burleson joins the conversation. The batter will be Reggie Jackson. Bill Campbell is rested and ready, but Cleveland is staying in. Don Zimmer has so much admiration for Cleveland. As he once said a month ago, when Reggie volunteered to go to the bullpen, he said, I'll do anything he wants. He said, Reggie Cleveland is a hell of a man. Well, he's got to stand down, prove himself that as Reggie Jackson comes up. He has singled, struck out, and grounded out. Jackson, the kind of climax hitter, to be followed by another one, Chris Stamblin. Hobson is in on the grass at third and toward the line. Here's the stretch by Cleveland. The pitch, and Jackson bluffs the bunt and takes outside, ball 1. Scott was charging late. Hobson was charging early. Doyle was headed toward first and Burleson toward second in the traditional bunt coverage, as that's what they expect from Jackson.
Reggie has never been particularly fond of this phase of the game.
I'm quite sure. Sluggers like Jackson do not care about punting too much. But if it means a ball game, and in order to do it, they'll try to get it down. We'll see if that was a bluff. Here's the stretch by Cleveland. And the pitch goes swinging and fouls it back this way. Swinging away. The count is 1-1. One ball, one strike. Long look by Reggie. Munson a short lead off first. The pitch, Jackson bluffing a bunt again, taking inside and low, ball 2. So they have the sign on, either to bluff it or to get one good pitch and drop it down. And Reggie now looking at Dick Hauser, the third base coach. Here we got it into the 9th inning. Yankees with a potential winning run at first base with nobody out. Jackson up. The count on him, 2 balls, 1 strike. Here is the set. 6. Strike called. 2-2. That time, Jackson was not committed either way. He did not square around and go to bunt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Munson at first. Led with a single. Reggie Cleveland working 2 and 2. Here comes outside, ball 3. So now, 3 and 2 to Jackson. So watch Munson at first, not particularly fast, but an edge could be had if he broke and there was a ground ball. Jackson strikes out a lot. Possibility of a double play there. Long look by Cleveland. Jackson waving the bat. Here's the set by Reggie. And the 3-2 pitch. There's a high drive deep right center field, and this is going to be the end of the ball game. Home run, Reggie Jackson. Yankees win 2-0. Climactic home run by Reggie Jackson into the deep right center field stands on a 3-2 pitch. Wins the game for New York, and the Red Sox are now down by 3.5. A crazy Yankee dugout welcomed Reggie at the plate and carried him in, practically, as the Yankees come up with a home run in the 9th inning to win it in traditional Yankee Chris Chambliss fashion. In the 9th inning, 2 runs and 2 hits, as a dejected Reggie Cleveland was the last Red Sox player to come into the dugout. The final score, the Yankees 2, the Red Sox nothing. We'll wrap it up in a moment.